Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. Okay, so I'm back. We're going to create the April page that is inspired by the April perpetual calendar top. So here's what I did yesterday, and it turned out super cute. I took some photographs and I uploaded them, I think, this morning. Some days are just like a little bit of a blur. So now I'm going to create the April page to match it. So my thought with everything going on right about now that is a little bit crazy, I want to at least make sure that I am documenting kind of my everyday stuff, some of the important things just all in one spot so that they are together. Sorry. Okay, so I did this in March for the first time and I really liked the results. So my thought process is this is just going to be a small album with basically one page for every month. Who knows how long I can keep it all in one album, but that is my thought process. So there's a sketch that I used in March that I'm going to just reverse today and use for April because they'll be the two pages side by side. So if you need the sketch, if you comment March, I'll come back and I'll add the link in there. But we're gonna get to putting it together. So we're gonna use this as our inspiration. We're gonna put that on the layout. I cut out my pieces according to the sketch. I'm gonna make you big down on my desk, make it bigger so you can see on my desk right now. Okay, so again, I grabbed the mix-ins from the current catalog, so the March, April mix-ins, because they were tons of fun. So this is what I did with March, right? So this was the March perpetual calendar, turned out super cute. And then I took, right, the March here and used it as inspiration on my layout. So we're gonna do the exact same thing today, but we're gonna do it in reverse because that's gonna be the page on the other side, right? So March will sit on the left-hand side of my album, and now we're gonna make the right-hand page. So here are all the bits and pieces. Just a second, I'm just gonna roll this over here. So that I have some space to throw a few things down onto the table top if I need it. I know, it's so cute. And I think that part of the reason that this layout is so cute is this funny photo of Emmy. She looks like a cow. You know when cows stick out their tongue? That's totally what it reminds me of. It was actually my daughter took this photograph when I was away, and she took them to, they're actually on the play structure, which I'm not even sure how she got them up there to do that. But she said she had a really good treat. So Emmy was very intrigued with eating the treat. Okay, I'm going to put the merch down on my desk. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to use the same background, right? And we're going to work the sketch in reverse and use this to create our little April inset. And so I have all the same stuff I used yesterday to create the perpetual calendar to make our little decorative piece. So, but really quickly, we're going to put the layout together and then I'm going to do the decorative part. So I also thought I'm not going to pick the same pieces of paper, so it's not an exact duplicate of the March layout, right? But I want parts to be the same. So I really liked the wood grain paper, so I'm going to leave that as my background. And then we're going to use this, the Glacier animal print on the top. And then I grabbed, so this, it was the bottom on the other layout, but I'm going to use this side this time. So we're going to lay our base in. I'm just going to grab my all-purpose mat here. Okay. And I'm gonna actually move this to the side, but I just wanted you to see, I'll bring it back in so you can see how the two of them are gonna sit side by side. And of course, April's not over, so I don't have my April photographs, but we are going to, so basically these two pieces create a 10 by 10. So we're gonna add them to the layout with like a 1-inch border all the way around. So, yeah, I'm not committing to a photo a day for a month. I'm just committing to having a minimum of 5 photographs, and I can obviously add more if I need to, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photographs minimum for the month to just kind of remind me what happened that month, and then a nice little journaling spot so that I can kind of talk more about what happened that month than necessarily, I don't need 800 photos, right, from things that happened all the time. And in my regular scrapbook is where like I put all the birthdays and all the big events and things that happen, right? So, but I thought this was just kind of a neat little project that's not extremely time consuming. You could do it in a relatively good amount of time. It's a nice, easy sketch, but there's also some techniques involved, right? So you can have some fun with your ink and cardstock or papers or whatever. So then my thought process is, this is March and April. So for May and June, I think I'm going to switch up the sketch. So there'll be a new sketch March, April, and May. Oh, you guys, it's been a long month. Okay, so then on the other layout, I actually matted my photographs with black. This time I actually picked the Nectarine print from that paper pack, that Mixins paper pack, and that's what I'm going to, well, I did, and I'm going to, once the photos are on here, I'm going to add my photos just in these spots. But the month of May is not, April is not over yet. So, okay, so this is the way my photos are going to sit in here. And then one of these is for a journaling spot, and then one we're going to use this same thing to create our April for right here. So let's add my journaling boxes. So I think I did 1/4 of an inch around is what I'm thinking. So I think I got the link added to the top in the description of the video, but if it's not there or you can't find it, if you comment sketch, I can come back and add the link beside your comment, or you can just click on the link and it'll take you to the sketch. And it's, I don't think it is actually that big. So let's just see. Oh no, it's only an 1/8 of an inch. So you can see here on the March one, right, I used that Lagoon with the dots. And here is that print that I matted my photographs with. You're going to see, I'm going to bring the elements from that other layout too onto this side so that the two of them will match together. Yes, it's just like, because sometimes we take, so obviously I take a lot of photos, right? And sometimes you just get overwhelmed, or like I said, I really like the idea of the photo a day, but I know I can't keep up with that. I just, I don't have time. I've tried a few times and that's super hard for me. So just kind of doing it like this, I can like add some of the important things, some of the fun things, like the story of Emmy on the play structure with my daughter. I wanted enough space in the journaling, a space that if I wanted to tell a story, I could. You saw in last month's, I added a flip-flop to tell the story about my stepdad because he passed away super suddenly in March. So I wanted to be able to tell that story, but maybe tell it just a little bit, not crazy out there. So I didn't hide it, but it's under a flip-flop. So I'm just going to, I'm not pushing that down just yet. So this is where we're going to add the month, right? So I'm doing it just the opposite, the mirror of the previous month. Okay. So here we go. I just wanted to get this part all done, and then we'll have the fun. So I'm going to use this. I cut the piece the wrong size. That's okay. We'll cut a new piece. I think I just grabbed the wrong piece when I cut it. The shorter piece I picked up, not the longer piece. Okay. So there we go. So that is done. I need to fix this though. But okay, so here we're going to work on there's a piece for the journaling box and a piece for the month. So same thing. I picked up the short pieces off the pile, not the longer pieces. So we're going to recut those. Okay. I lasted sitting down for all of like 5 minutes, guys. Okay. And then I think this is supposed to be 6 1/4. So I think when I did this, I just grabbed this piece and not this piece off my pile, which is exactly what it looks like happened. Okay, so then I actually think I probably have my other piece in my mix-ins bag. So my other piece, well, I don't see it right away, so we'll just cut it. So all the measurements are on the sketch though, so we're gonna say it's 2 1/2 and 6 1/2. So we'll just do that. Oh, that's the title. Oh, you guys, no wonder I'm having so many problems. There we go. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I just grabbed, I think I picked up the wrong piece off the pile. Okay. So we will dovetail that in a few moments. And I have this little piece that I'm going to dovetail. So these are both exactly the same width, so I'll just do them together. So I'm just going to trim up the middle and then in from side to side. Okay, and this is going to get tucked over here. And then this one is going over here. But we need to do our treatment here. So I'm going to ink distress it with the Glacier, just like this one. So I'm just going to move this out of my way. Just going to throw down my mat here for a second. So I showed you yesterday. So I picked the Glacier ink, and then we're going to do a little bit of distressing over top of it with just a White Daisy mat that I made from cutting it out of the Cricut. So here we go. Here are our pieces. So I have my Glacier ink. And so when I was working on the size for my SVG, I created this rectangle to try and kind of give me just a gauge for how big I wanted this space to be, so that when I laid my April on top, I could tell how big it was going to be. So I kept this, and I'm using it as a stencil on my piece. So I'm just going to lightly put some Glacier ink down here, and then I'm going to use the stencil over top to add the raindrops into the background. So I'm just going to tap off a little bit of the color first, and then I'm just going to gently rub it in. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I just kind of want to give it a little bit of color here in the background, but not like a solid Glacier piece of cardstock, right? And I definitely need a new Glacier sponge. So I just, when I cut them up, I just add a little piece of, if I have a piece of Glacier cardstock lying around, I would normally staple that on. But this is just a piece of White Daisy off my desk. And then I just wrote the name of the color that I'm using. Okay. And so I just get a nice soft little background there. And the middle is going to be covered up with the month anyway, so you don't really need to worry about it. Okay, so then I'm just going to take this and add it over top. And then I can add some raindrops. So same thing, I'm not really super worried about the middle because we're going to cover it up with the April title. So I can just kind of push some color through the cardstock. This one, I can see I need a little bit more ink there. And those ones are fine. I don't want it to be, I just want it to kind of be a little bit subtle because I'm also going to use the holographic paper for the raindrops. So I'm not really worried about it like looking exactly like a raindrop, because I think that I just wanted a little bit more kind of in the background. Okay, and then like I said, it's going to come together super quickly. So then the last thing I'll have to do is, because the month of April is not over yet, I'll just print my photos and then add them to the layout. I know realistically this one in the middle is probably just going to get covered up. I'm having one kind of just run off the page there. I'm going to also do the same thing up here. So these two are going to be just running off the edge. And you could keep at, if you wanted them really dark, you could obviously also pick a different color. I didn't go with Lagoon because I knew I was going to use that Glacier. So I think that's good. That's what I'm going to stay with. I knew I was going to use that Glacier animal print in the background. So I just wanted the raindrops kind of subtle there in the background. So there we go. We have our background done. And we'll put together So same as the umbrella from yesterday, I picked black as the base. So that's really just the little stem. And then that same nectarine piece from the Mix-Ins. Then I have this lagoon piece and then a topper that's black. So then I have the Sunbeam holographic paper, then a layer that's lemonade, and then this is the pearl white paper, which I love. Love, love. And then I have dreamy holographic raindrops that we're going to add. So I will just quickly put it together. So, but the umbrella I'm going to use in the journaling spot, not in the month, the same way I did with the rainbow for March. So here on this one, right, it's part of the title, but on the other one, it's going to be not on this title block, but part of the journal block. And I'll just grab a journaling pen too for drawing my lines. So I can, okay. So see, like lots of it gets covered up on this one, so it doesn't really matter. But it just kind of creates that nice subtle little background. So I'm going to add this piece in here, and like I said, all the measurements are on the sketch. Then on the April calendar, I used the Wildberry ribbon. So we're going to do the same thing. So before I started, I added the red tape to the back of the ribbon. So you didn't have to watch that because it's not very exciting. So I'm just going to trim how much I think I need. And I'm just going to angle that. So I just took that red adhesive tape and I pushed it down onto the ribbon, and now I'm just going to pull it off, and then it's super easy to add it on to the layout, right? So if you wanted, you could totally turn this into not a 2-page layout, right? Like how I have 1 month on each side. You could take out, sorry, let me just, there we go. You could just turn this into 2 more photo mats, right? And just have the one title on the one side and have a double page layout. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it straight. Sometimes I can't talk and adhere something down. There we go. Okay, so now this is for down here. You got, oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. I'm like, how did I lose the month? Okay, so I'm going to actually put the umbrella together so that our glue has some time to dry. So the umbrella would look super cute too if you cut it with the wood grain paper, so that the handle of the umbrella would look like wood. Okay, so then my lagoon piece. So everything just kind of fits right together. So I just made this bigger than the version that I put on the perpetual calendar. So, and then here's our topper. So I'm just going to glue this down so that it has a few seconds to dry before I need to add it anywhere. Let's just reline that up there. Okay. And I should make sure before I add glue to this that it's going the right way. Yep. There we go. So because I'm using the liquid gloss, this will just give it a few seconds to dry. So I also mentioned yesterday, if you didn't want to do the raindrops in holographic paper, they would be super cool, cut out of just regular cardstock and then use liquid glass on top to make them shiny, and they would look like raindrops also. So that is another option. Okay, so we're just going to set that aside to dry. We are going to, so here is where our April is going to go. And I just need to decide. I think I'm going to add the white pearl paper on flat, and then I'm going to pop underneath the yellow holographic paper up. So that's where I'll get my little bit of dimension from, because there's also those holographic raindrops that we're going to add on here. So yesterday when I did this one, I added a little bit of dimension underneath this layer. So just like the thin 3D foam tape, because you don't want too much dimension, because it is the perpetual calendar, right? So they all sit on top of each other. So I feel okay to add a little bit of dimension, just not a crazy amount. I love how this little R creates the top of the eye. Okay, so now I'm going to add some 3D foam tape here, and I will get a pen to do our journaling lines. So I'm going to add some onto the bottom and then up here, so that the ribbon kind of just just sit there in the middle. So here we go. Then I'll adhere it down. We'll add our lines, add our raindrops. And not bad. I think we'll be done in like 45 minutes if I had to guess. So that's not bad. Okay. So here, I'm going to go just like that. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to add the same Wildberry ribbon across the bottom, but we need a pen to do our journaling lines. So let's see here. I'm feeling I love these Le Pens. You guys know that. I'm thinking we're going to do the teal think that's what this one's called. Yeah. So it's kind of like Lagoon, I would say. So you guys have seen me do this 100 times. Okay, so this is how this, okay, so just a second here. We're going to bring in the other page because this I need to think about. So this is how these two are going to look side by side. And I actually meant to do this the other way. Okay. I'm going to just because I'm telling you guys, yeah, we're just going to do it in reverse. We're just going to do it in reverse. And then I didn't do it in reverse. I was doing it exactly the same. So there we go. Easy enough to fix that. And I'm going to have these two journaling boxes side by side. So that's why I actually wanted to look at them together. Good thing I did that. I know. And honestly, how many times did I say to you guys, I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm going to do it in reverse. And then I was looking at my own sketch and didn't do it in reverse. Okay. So there we go. Easy enough to fix. So the new Tombow is what I'm actually using as my tape runner. And so you do have some time. Okay, so this, we're just going to, I think, have to leave it like that though. Let's see. I don't know. Oh. Okay, if the you guys, so I actually very well positioned the foam tape. So let's just see how this is going to happen. This will be, oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just going to cut a new piece. That's totally fine. I'm totally fine with that. So I said it was, let's look at my sketch. 1.5 by 6 1/4. There we go. We will just dovetail that piece and we'll add our ribbon on and tuck it in and no one will be the wiser. Okay. Yes, I would say the I just did it again. This is my LOL. So we're going to have lots of yellow dovetailed pieces. Okay. I want it to stick out a little bit more. So there we go. Okay, so I still have red line tape on there. And I think this piece is just long enough. So, and I'm going to do the little trick that I did yesterday. Hey, Dorothy, where I added just right on the edge of this, I added a little bit of liquid glass. And I just think that it'll make me feel more secure, like it's not going to come unraveled. So I'm just like literally I just added it to the very edge. Hey, Jill. Of the ribbon. So like I'll do it before, but I just added it on here. Now I don't want to glue down my tape. There we go. So I'll do that on both ends just to make sure that they don't unravel. So let's put this in place. Now that we have it facing the right direction, okay. So just like that. And I'm just going to add a little tiny bit on the very edge here too, because it'll dry clear. Nobody's going to see it there. Okay, so now back to our journaling box. So it's going to be here. So I am going to put my umbrella right here. I have a little dovetailed piece that I'm going to just poke out. This one's too long, but that's okay. I'm just going to add it right there. And then I'm going to add ribbon here on the bottom. So I think we're going to do that first, and then, no, because then I'll have this. I love the holographic paper. And I kind of like that this one, I mixed and matched them. So I have the sunbeam under there, and then the little raindrops are here, and they're dreamy because I thought that looked more like rain. Okay, I'm just going to give myself a pencil mark here so I know about where my ribbon is going to be. And then I'm going to just quickly draw my lines. And I'm going to just kind of hold my umbrella in there. So my journaling lines will go around my umbrella. Just going to like lightly tack it down onto my Versamat. Okay, so I'm going to do my bottom line right about there. And I have the teal. So there. I have so much stuff now crowded into my space again. That's why I actually put the table beside me. Okay, so how well do I want this? So let's go like this. So just like how I did the rainbow one, I kind of made it go around the shape. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but, and I can see from my line below that I'm straight. And I don't normally go up like this because you're actually, like I'm pulling my ruler through. But I think for this one, because I have so much going on there, because I'm making them all the same over here, but they're going to go around the umbrella. So I'm kind of trying to make it so it's this, it won't be exact, but I think that the fun thing too about the holographic paper is because it takes on the properties of the other papers around it. Like yesterday at one point, the sunbeam was looking so green, and it kind of does right now, and I think it's from being on top of all the glacier. But when I add the Dreamy then on top of it, you'll see it kind of changes again. So okay, maybe one more, we'll see. Let's see, yeah, one more and then that's it. There we go. Okay, let's add our umbrella. No, let's add our ribbon, and it's going this way. So I'll just add my red line tape on the back. That's so funny. Good thing I brought it up to match up my journaling boxes. It would have totally been fine, but it's not what I said. Okay, I don't get any bleeds, really. None at all. So she was just asking about the journaling pens and if they bleed, and no. So you can see, if you look really carefully, at the ends of my lines, it's just a little bit darker, but that's because that's where I'm starting. But it doesn't bleed, and you can see I dragged my ruler all the way through that, and it didn't come off. So lots of times, if you're not careful, right, like that's why I always go down when I'm doing a journaling box, right? I normally start at the top and work down, because then you're not dragging your ruler through the lines. Because if the ink is just a little bit wet, it will bleed for sure. But I have not encountered them bleeding on me at all. Okay, so here, so I've just added the red line on the back. I'm just going to push it into the ribbon and then pull off the back. You should see this messy little pile that I've got going on here beside me. I can hardly even find my tools in here. So it's just always, it's just kind of hard to see the red on top of the wild berry ribbon. So here is, okay, so let's bring our page back in, and that's good. Okay, so here is what I did yesterday. So I took my regular scissors that I always use for ribbon, and then right on the edge of that ribbon, I added liquid glass. And like I said, the one on the calendar, you cannot even see it. So where's the calendar? So I did it on each side here, and you can't see it at all. Okay, I've got little pieces of paper flying at me. So I'm just going to do that exact same thing. And then I just feel like it is a little extra, and you will never ever see it. So once it's dry, well, I guess I need to add adhesive to the back first before it'll stick down. I was thinking it was, right, the adhesive on the ribbon. Okay, and so it's the same, just that little tiny scant border. Okay, and then we're just going to fit our umbrella in here. I'll add adhesive, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glass here. So that is how that's going to fit. So now this is how they're going to look together. Oh, and I don't even let it bother me anymore. You guys, I said it was funny because if you didn't make a mistake, you wouldn't know how to fix them, right? So, okay, so the last thing I have is I have some holographic raindrops. And so we're going to add them in here. And I'm just trying to decide if I should add gold sequins onto this side of the layout too, because it's on that side. So I also found this handy. I printed there's always, you guys are so funny. I'm glad you like it, Kathy. I like I said, I want enough so that I can say something that's happening in the month, but so I found it handy that with the SVGs, there's a printed PDF that you can print off. And because the raindrops are different sizes, this is how I adhered them yesterday, and it worked out perfectly. Now, I am not going to, even though it's killing me not to, pop them up on 3D foam tape. I'm just going to adhere them flat. So this is where you'll see the neat effect of the dreamy holographic paper on top of the sunbeam. So they look like real raindrops. It's super fun. So, okay, so Kathy and Robin are saying hello to each other. So do you guys scrapbook together? That's what I want to know. So see, it looks super awesome in real life too. I wish that holographic paper photographed better than it does, because it is such a fun little detail. And I love the white pearl paper too that I used for the title here. It cuts beautifully. That's nice. So Kathy and Robin do scrapbook together. Oh, okay. You guys, sorry, there's something on my glasses. So you don't live close together. So these are all, that's so sweet. You gotta love that. So Robin just said, my mom is my best customer. That's okay. I'll tell you, my sister is my best customer. So there we go. Okay, so this one is actually a small one. And what I'm trying to decide is if I want to take some of these and add them down here, because there's some small ones left. And they kind of went, well, you can see, right? They went around the SVG. So, but I'm wondering if maybe I should add the small raindrops down here on the bottom. I might leave that there. And, oh, I need one here. Up here, like that. So I think I'm going to add a few of them on the bottom. Just like right here. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. And we did have some good rain in the month of April, I will just say. So here we go. I think we're going to go for sure here, here, and here. Like that. We'll use the handy dandy pickup tool. I need a little bit more if we're going to do that. Spot there. Okay. Just like that. And then I think we'll go over here. Don't you guys always have rain in Seattle? So I used to live on the West Coast. I haven't now for years and years. But I felt like it always rained. But now I have always winter is what I'm going to say. So right about now I would take the always rain. I said I feel like we're in a perpetual winter. So I'm going to do 3 down here and then I'll add 1 more up onto the top because then I have an uneven number. So these are kind of just in place of the sequins. Yes, until July. I'm hoping that we're gonna just turn a corner this week because they're actually calling for 1 more bad storm, which we're not going to talk about. But then, and Jill says she concurs with me. I said last Sunday, I feel like I'm living in the Game of Thrones or something in perpetual winter. And then it's actually supposed to be quite nice. So let's just all hope that that's what happens because I'm ready for it. Okay, so that is cute. Okay, so I'm going to add, I just think I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Okay. Good luck back at work. Glad I could entertain you during your break. There we go. Okay. Holy smokes. So Jill just said we still have 20 inches of ice. We won't be able to fish in Minnesota opener in a couple of weeks. Our campground won't put water on due to the frost in the ground level. And then Judy says we have not grout. I'm sure you have grout, but with drought, we're glad for rain. Anytime it comes, more water, please. I think all of Minnesota would send you all of their water right now. So, okay, guys, there we go. There's March and April, and I'm feeling good about it. So, obviously, we're not through the month of April. So, but next week, I will come back and add my photos to April. And we'll start talking about May. But I think, like I said, I think I'm going to do a new sketch. Thank you, Dorothy. So this is March and April, right? So this is this one. And then we just because I noticed my mistake, fixed it, so this is just the reverse. So these pages will sit together side by side. Yes, Minnesota is now out of their drought. Exactly. We've had drought for 3 years too, and now we won't either. So if you need the sketch, click on the link. And that is what I have for you guys today. And we'll talk to you later. Bye, guys. And I'll start brainstorming on what May, June are going to look like. So, like I said, well, I'm going to kind of go with not like a ton of photos, but they'll match again. The perpetual calendar is kind of the concept that I want to do with the whole series. So I will show you again how April's perpetual calendar turned out. And then March is here somewhere. There we go. So those are those two things. So we'll talk to you later, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.